Teaching is hard. Why is it hard? Well, I haven't really shared, maybe I've shared this part, I don't know. But if you followed me or listened to me, my story's all over the place. But I was thinking this morning about my past 2 weeks and returning back to school after Christmas break, which is always like a regroup, refresh, restart for teachers. And I'm an elementary art teacher. That's fun. That's cool. For the most part, I get to be like the good one in a kid's day. You know, I'm their breath, I'm their break, and I love that. But something that I haven't really shared too much is about the day that I found out about my cancer diagnosis. And one of my fears was I came home. Well, if you don't know my story, I was diagnosed with appendix cancer in 2023. So almost 3 years ago, because my whole process started in February of 2023. And it just started with a routine colonoscopy that evolved into an incidental finding of a bulge in my appendix, which then turned into a CAT scan, which then turned into needing an appendectomy. And so in, I think it was March or April of 2023, I had an appendectomy and I had to take time off of work, which is never easy. It sounds like it could be, but if anybody, all you teachers out there know that sub-plans and planning for, they said plan up to 4 weeks off. That's a lot, especially with elementary school. You want to keep that momentum going. They got to still make things. You can't just give coloring pages for a month. I don't want to do that. So that's a stress and pressure. And I had my appendectomy and it was laparoscopic and it seemed good. And I actually was able to return back to work within 2 weeks. I think it was like 2.5 weeks. I felt fine enough to go back. But one of the things that I really didn't want to happen was I was waiting on my pathology and my results. And my fear was, I don't want to find out whatever's going on while at work. But I also wasn't going to just sit home and wait. And one of the signs that I knew something more was going on was my pathology was not coming back. And I'm in a rural area. And so I kept checking in with my hospital and they were like, no, this is normal. Time was going by and they said everything looked good from your surgery. Your margins look good and no sign of anything. So I was thinking, oh, okay, until it was really like 2.5 weeks later. And I'm like, I'm back at work and I'm wondering where my results were. And I had called and they said that they had sent my pathology to Johns Hopkins. And I went, oh, okay. And they were trying to tell me that doesn't mean anything, but you're not going to send pathology off. If it's all good, it's all good. If there's something they don't know, they're going to send it somewhere. So part of me was relieved because I was like, okay, well, let's get it in the hands of the people who can figure out what's going on. So I'm back at work and you remember things exactly. I get a phone call from my surgeon and I was like, oh, personal phone call from my surgeon. This can't be good. And it wasn't. So there I am in my art room and my surgeon, my colorectal surgeon at that time, or who did the appendectomy, he said, it's cancer. And you stand there. And I was like, oh, here I am at work. And he said, you have two choices, and it's to go to either Roswell I think it's in Buffalo, or Memorial Sloan Kettering down in New York City. And I said, well, can I call you back? I got to call my husband. I can't make this decision alone. But we had already sort of made this decision that we thought if anything was to ever happen, I'd go to Memorial Sloan Kettering. But I hung up from my surgeon, called up my husband and said, it's appendix cancer. which is ironic because a year before, my sister-in-law was diagnosed with appendix cancer. So we knew what was coming. And we decided Sloan Kettering. And I called my surgeon back, and I know this is going on for a while, and I apologize. But anyway, so I called back my surgeon. I said, Sloan Kettering is where I'll go. Got off the phone, left my classroom, walked down the hall. And you know, when like your world changes and everything you see looks different, you want it to be the same, but you just got some news that just changed everything. And I'm walking down the hall and I'm passing kids and I'm like, hi, Mrs. McClay, hi. And I'm trying and I'm holding it together. And I walk into my principal's office. I close the door and I said, I was just diagnosed with cancer. And she looked at me and she hugged me and she said, do you want to go home? And I said, no. I said, if I go home, I'm going to start Googling. I'm going to go down a rabbit hole and I'm going to be by myself. So I walked out of the room and I had 2 classes left. And I went and I taught kindergarten. And I went and I taught first grade. And I was so grateful that I was able to do it because those little kids and those faces helped me just compose myself enough to make it through. I made it through the end of the day. And well, really, the moral of the story isn't so much about cancer, but it's about teaching, because we criticize and we judge, and you never know. We're all human, and your teachers, they are going through a lot, not just what they're dealing with your kids, but we are people. We have lives, we have loved ones, we have families, we are mothers, we are daughters, we are sisters, we are friends, we are wives, we are husbands, whatever we are. And we have to put on a brave face a lot. Because when you have 20 plus little faces or big faces counting on you, staring at you, you have to show up and you have to gain composure. And that is what we do. So the moral of this very long post is, have some compassion. Understand your teachers. Know that we teach some days under the worst of circumstances inside. We are emotionally dying inside some days, but we are trying our best to be there for your kids. So be kind. That's all.